Part 3 of Elon Musk's Twitter files confirms federal agencies like the FBI and DHS work closely with Twitter executives to censor conservatives. In tweet number 17 of Matt Taibbi, thread, quote, during this time, executives were also clearly liaisoning with federal enforcement and intelligence agency about the moderation of election-related content. And Matt reports the coordination extended to the Hunter Biden laptop story. Here's tweet number 20. In thread, quote, this post about the Hunter Biden laptop situation shows that Roth not only met weekly with the FBI and DHS, but with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Funny timing that this is coming out shortly after Twitter's safety chief quit after Elon Musk's takeover, and he admitted censoring the laptop was wrong. So I want to go to our OG, Harris Faulkner. No, you're the veteran. We love you. Yesterday you had Kevin McCarthy on your show on the Faulkner Focus, and he described what he believed was next with the Twitter story. Let's listen and get you on the other side.
Perfect.
We now know that they had direct correlation, direct ability to speak to one another, that they would tell. And were they identifying these conservatives that should no longer have free speech? To go after a doctor at Stanford, to go after this doctor simply because he wanted to give his opinion. They wanted control over us. And we watched that this government wanted control so much, they used companies to do it, and these companies shielded themselves under Section 230. January 3rd cannot come fast enough.
Oh, and he means it.
Yeah, he does. And that was great reporting by Matt Taibbi. He got his name there.
Look, there's so much that we don't know. And one of the things that Leader McCarthy was saying, and he is now the speaker designate as we look forward to January, we'll see how that works out. But one of the things he was saying, well, who else was doing this dance? Like, maybe it wasn't only Twitter. And when you talk about blacklisting and all of that, who else had access to that information? Did other social platforms sell, barter, share that information? Are we being quieted as people in general, and maybe conservatives in particular, over and over and over again on other platforms and don't even know? Now, Dan Bongino and some others, they picked it up pretty early because they would put a tweet out and certain things would get a lot of heat. And they'd trend right, and then certain other things that touched on COVID or touched on things like the Hunter Biden laptop coverage that was broken by the New York Post. All that reporting was clamped down on. And then anything you tweeted about was either stickered or slowed down in this process of filtering the visibility of those tweets, which, by the way, is what we call crushing freedom of speech.
That's
if you think you're free of speech on a platform and you're being worked against without your knowledge or consent, that's not right. And that's where Kevin McCarthy and Republicans want to get to. They want to go after it and see who else was doing this.
Yeah, and to your point, especially mentioning our very own Dan Bongino, him being shadow banned, he had something to say on Fox and Friends Weekend today. Let's listen.
Can anyone explain to me how the FBI, the DNI, and the DHS meeting with a private company and winking and nodding, suggesting they restrict people's free speech? Can you please explain to me how that's not a violation of the First Amendment? The next shoe to drop is, were these tech companies colluding with each other?
So Dan Bongino, he was also named in the Twitter files, which proved that Twitter put his account on a blacklist to censor him. He'll dive into that tonight on Unfiltered with Dan Bongino at 9 p.m. Eastern on this channel. Tommy, I want to go to you because you have one of the largest social media followings of any conservative. Millions on Instagram, Twitter, just all around. And you've been shadow banned before, haven't you?
We all know that we're being shadow banned, especially on Facebook and Instagram. It's still happening. So the question that you asked, Harris, is it happening in other platforms? Yeah, and on steroids, because it's still happening. At least Twitter got rid of their COVID flags for the most part. Instagram, Facebook, they still have them. So when we talk about a master blacklist, yeah, I do think one exists, and I think all the big tech companies, including the search engines, I think they all operate on it. I hope the Republicans are serious about diving into this. And I'll tell you this, I've had this frustration for years now, because yes, now we have Twitter files, we have that validation that we were looking for, but Republicans, conservatives, we've known this has been happening for years. Republicans have talked about it, they've talked about Section 230, but now it takes Elon Musk for you guys to do something. I'm sorry, conservatives, especially those of us with platforms, have been begging for this for years now. So I'm happy that something is being done, but it shouldn't take Elon Musk to do it.
That's
it really shouldn't.
It really shouldn't. And Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, he's been under oath before Congress multiple times. Did he lie is the question. Let's watch.
Social media is being rigged to censor conservatives. Is that true of Twitter?
No.
I don't know what Twitter is up to. It sure looks like to me that they're censoring people, and they ought to stop it. Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans. It's bad. Is that true?
No.
Now, you were the chairman of oversight, and you've seen this kind of stuff. You've seen people lie before you. Will there be consequences for Jack Dorsey? Because that clearly looks like a lie to me. And do you agree with regulating Twitter and social media companies?
So I think what he's saying there is false. It's demonstrably false, and I think it can be proven. You see within the Twitter files that were revealed, only Ro Khanna, the Democrat, who actually stepped up and said, I don't think you can defend what you're doing here, Twitter. I can understand where the CIA, the NSA, Homeland Security, and a host of other agencies, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, would say, look, we're seeing Russian intelligence, we're seeing Chinese activity, beware. They do that in multiple industries. What's overstepping here, which is totally fundamentally wrong, is that it was then morphed into a political operation to target just one party. Not the ones that were on both sides of the aisle, but just conservatives and just Republicans. And it was used as a political bludgeoning tool. That's where it oversteps the line. That's where I think there are going to be a whole slew of lawsuits about election engineering and election manipulation. And that's what should scare all of us. And by the way, these Twitter companies and social media companies, they have Section 230, which gives them the liability protection. That will change in Congress.
So he may or may not pay a price for this is the question, Jason.
I'm so frustrated. I've never seen anybody actually pay a price. On the left side of the aisle, they just don't.
Yeah. That is interesting. Wow. Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.